Emerson Unitarian Universalist Church. It's good to see y'all. You all know who I am. I'm the Reverend Chloe Burdett. And it's good to be together in this hard time. I'd like to begin with the words we say to each other every Sunday morning, which is the reason why this congregation exists. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve humanity and fellowship, thus do we covenant. That all remains true in the wake of this and any other political election. It's also true that in the wake of most elections, we have not felt compelled to schedule a last-minute emergency vigil, but this election has been particularly divisive. The anti-immigrant xenophobia, blatant racism, rampant misogyny, cynical drumming up of transphobia, and threats to our democratic norms have many people rightfully fearful about the future of our country. Bullies have been emboldened, and many basic human rights are endangered. So in such a time as this, we need one another more than ever, and we must continue to answer the call of love, to welcome immigrants, to be in solidarity with women, people of color, and our queer siblings. Even in and especially in this hard times, if we seemingly must be on this particular journey, I am grateful that this journey is with all of you, both here in person and online. So I'm going to go ahead and light our chalice. We kindle this chalice flame with words from the Reverend Egbert Etherell Brown, an early Black Unitarian minister ordained in 1912. As we face a troubled and puzzled world, we too are troubled and puzzled. As our fond dreams remain unrealized and our bright hopes of yesterday wither, in the bitter disappointment of today, our courage fails, our spirits droop, our faith trembles, and frustrated we bow our heads in despair. Nevertheless, we come to this hour in this sacred place, and as we seek to recommit ourselves to a peace in our time, may we first be at peace with ourselves and one another. May we know that without love there will never be peace. Teach us, therefore, to love. And so as our ritual this evening, see, I'm used to saying this morning. As our ritual this evening, it comes from activist and educator Parker Palmer, and it's his book, Healing the Heart of Democracy. Parker Palmer says this. Thank you, that's beautiful. There are two ways for the heart to break. Apart into many shards like a fragment grenade, or open into greater capacity so that we can hold life's inevitable tensions creatively, not destructively. These words point towards a vision that Parker calls the politics of the broken-hearted. He continues, when we don't know how to hold tensions, the heart explodes like a hand grenade. And we sometimes want to throw that hand grenade at the enemy. But a new habit of the heart would allow us to take the broken-hearted experience in a new direction, not towards the shattering into a million pieces, but towards a heart that grows larger and more capacious, more open to hold both the suffering and pain of the world. Within us is a yearning for something better than divisiveness, toxicity, passivity, powerlessness, and selling our democratic inheritance to the highest bidder. Within us is the courage to pursue that yearning, to hold life's tensions consciously, faithfully, and well until they break us open. Should I talk more into the mic? Oh, yeah. Okay. No, thanks for pointing it out. And I think that might help the Zoom folks too. So, yeah. You're helping everybody. Tonight, we want to give each of you an opportunity to share the feelings weighing upon your heart. We also want to provide a time for deep listening in which we are invited to witness one another's pain. So first, let's pause for a minute or two of silence. And this is the usual meditation group time, and that's part of our practice, is pausing for silence. And during this time, I invite you to take a deep breath. We can do that together. Once, taking a deep breath in and out. And get more connected to yourself, one another, and the sacredness of this time and place. And I invite you to notice what feelings are rising up within you in the wake of this election season. So we'll take a moment, a minute or two of silence. In a few moments, you'll be invited to come forward. And if you feel led to do so, say your name, briefly share what you're feeling, what is on your heart. And then if you'd like, you can light one of our taper candles to symbolize lifting up your concerns within this compassionate community. I know there's a lot to say, and this is the first of 2 times you'll be able to come up and share that we'll have this evening. And I'm going to limit each of those sharing times to about 20 minutes. To shape this time, I invite you to keep a few things in mind. Try to use I statements. Keep your reflections fairly brief to make space for as many people to talk as they want. And let everyone who wants to share once before we get up again if you need to. If you're on Zoom, you're invited to post your thoughts in this chat, and I'll read them and light a candle for you as well. So as you're moved, I invite you to come forward, say your name, briefly share what's on your heart, and then you can light a candle to symbolize that concern being lifted up in community. So I'll go ahead and get us started. I think I'm worried about a lot of things, and I think my main emotion right now is anxiety. And my anxiety comes from not knowing what it is that we're going to have to fight over the next 4 years and what we might have to do to keep bad things from happening. And that's most of what I'm feeling. My name's Reverend Chloe. So yeah, I'm holding anxiety. I'm going to go ahead and light one of our taper candles. The mic is open for anyone else who would like to share.
Don't be shy. You make it a little taller. Hi, my name is Leslie. My number one emotion is anxiety, also, because I'm trying not to worry about the future. I have no control over the future, but I just feel anxiety because I knew this would happen. What are the odds of this nation having, I know from a corporate setting, women and black women do not get promoted. McKinsey did a study on this. McKinsey did a study on the really low percentage of women who get promoted into management versus black women versus men. And I said, what is the odds that a black woman would get promoted into the highest job of the whole country? So I never had the sense of optimism, but I still am not happy about the situation. And so what I got, you probably do too, I got an AOC email from Alexandria, and she said, we have to join in community. Because through community, we can make connection with people who think like us, but also people who don't think like us. Bowling leagues. Think about ways that we can be involved in community. And also, I read an article that said that California had sent to the federal government its annual request to have tighter air quality laws, like, for example, with vehicle emission standards. And I'm like, well, if they don't approve that, we can just do it. Right? We could put together a whole movement to say, buy an electric car, drive a hybrid, get yourself out of the gas-powered vehicle. And we could just create a groundswell of support for that. Even if it's not part of the regulations, doesn't mean we can't do it. So it also gets me thinking about what I can do to help us move forward, regardless of what happens. So that's where I am. Susan, you're up next.
I don't. Is this on at all?
Oh, I also brought roses. So these are my garden from my garden.
Oh,
so
how pretty.
You take a rose home with you.
Beautiful. I'm really a mess. I'm about to celebrate, remember the 8th anniversary of my husband's death. He was dying when Trump was gonna get elected the first time, and it's just deja vu times a million. I don't know why, but I was giddily optimistic. And I just came crashing down so hard. I really I don't even know what my emotions are. I'm super angry. I'm terrified, and I'm very glad to be here. And I loved your letter so much. It was the first thing that kind of helped me feel a little grounded, because people are sending me all these optimistic things, and I'm just feeling bullshit. I don't feel that. How can you feel that with what has happened? And anyway, so that's where I'm at.
I'm Ellen Trumpler, and I'm here because I want to share a sense of grief over the loss of hope right now, but as well, I also want to participate in a new kind of hope based on a very real perception of what we can do to turn things around. And I know it's going to take a long time, but I'm trying to be optimistic while I'm feeling pessimistic, and it's kind of a strange kind of tension that I feel. But I see us eventually turning things around. I think it will take, to the year 2027 or 2028, but I do see Kamala Harris running again. I do see the Democrats eventually winning, and I think we're just going to go through a very dark 4 years, but I think possibly we'll be better off because of it. And I know that that's being kind of rosy-colored glasses kind of thing, but I think thought is what's helping me get through this, and thinking that there's some reason why this is happening, and we just don't know why yet. We're going to find out why. So there's a lot to be discovered. Thank you.
Can you hear me? Is this better? A little bit better. Well, anyway, I'm Pat Cosgrove, and I was thinking about some of our past presidents and thinking back that there was a time in my life when people thought that Richard Nixon, there couldn't be anything worse than Richard Nixon. Yeah, he looks, first of all, I think Nixon was a man who was genuinely very intelligent. He was corrupt, but he was an intelligent man. And there were some things that happened during his administration, like some of the diplomacy that Henry Kissinger was involved in. But, you know, it's almost like who in the Trump administration could do anything like that. I don't think so. Trump just comes across as a very ignorant. His best talent is probably that he's a good con artist. But I'm hopeful. We've gotten through some other things, and stuff I've seen online where people are talking about the possibility there could be a civil war in America, and I don't think it's really going to happen. But I don't know. I think we'll ultimately come through it, and I'm hopeful. And there's nothing more I can say at the moment. Thanks.
You want to light a candle, Pat?
Oh, I forgot.
And how you wrote it.
Hi, I'm Ramon. You can hear me, right? Okay. 2016, I was actually working for a phone bank for Hillary Clinton. And I remember just before I got in my car to go to the phone bank at the mall, I had this horrible feeling in my stomach. And I was wondering, am I sick? What's going on? And then later on that night, I found out this was actually a literal gut feeling premonition of what happened that night, because like everyone, including Trump himself, I assumed Hillary Clinton would win. If you remember, Trump did that whole campaign expecting to create a reality TV show all about how he failed to become president because the system cheated him, and he was going to go on and get even richer somehow on cable TV. And he just sort of stumbled into becoming president and then faked his way through it. But yes, I was, of course, angry, and I felt betrayed, and I didn't understand what country is this I'm living in. I tried to fight on Facebook and the internet. I sent emails to delegates saying, hey, it's your job, it says in the Constitution, to change your mind about this Republican vote you have, so that you don't, as Alexander Hamilton said, put someone in office who is really not fit for this job. But it was all in vain. This time it was different. I was expecting Trump to lose. I was optimistic like everyone else. And of course, when I started to see the results, I was flabbergasted and just unbelieving and really feeling like I don't know what world I'm living in. But after a couple of days, it's different. Now I'm looking at America and saying, okay, you didn't learn your lesson the first time. Now you're getting the government that you deserve. And maybe this time you'll be like a lot of former Trump employees who really hate the man because they found out how he betrayed them. He praises them and calls them the most fantastic person that he's ever seen when he hires them, and later on he just spits them out and demonizes them when he's done with them, because all he does is consume people. He has no moral sense. He is a malignant narcissist who's being used as a useful idiot by corporations and the rich, including Elon Musk, and now also possibly Vladimir Putin and other dictators in the world. But what's my feeling about this now? I was just speaking to Reverend Chloe earlier today about, what role I feel I can play, and that's as someone who's just gonna rebel by raising the vibe wherever I am, whatever I'm doing. I mean, I'm a practicing psychic as my spiritual path. So, this morning I was meditating and I felt something new and dark and different. It was like this controlling darkness telling me, obey. The new order is here. You must obey. And my spirituality, I find a way to be amused about this. No. This little kingdom that I am is something that was granted me by the Supreme Being to rule absolutely as I see fit. And nothing's going to take over. And nothing's going to break my heart and break my spirit, because I am my spirit. I am a bright light in this world. And I intend to shine so that others can shine as well, so that we can defeat this darkness just by being who we are. So, gonna see if I can somehow do my part. I mean, I love these comedians like Jon Stewart who are able to turn this into a joke. Stephen Colbert, gosh, I don't know how the man does it. He has a whole staff of writers who just help him get out there and get the laughs going, because we need him. And I'm just going to be available to tell people you don't have to give in. I'm hearing stories about moms saying their daughters are telling little girls, boys at school are saying, your body, my choice, forever. Because the Trumpists and even their children are feeling empowered to denigrate and rule by using fear and intimidation and pain. But I don't have to use anger to fight anymore. I will not give in to fear. I will just be amused at how some people just can't learn until they make a mistake, the same mistake they made before. And maybe, someday we'll be able to talk together as brothers. Thank you.
I'm going to share from Zoom. Nicole says, so many folks I know live with chronic marginalization, so we were not anticipating relief from either candidate. However, now the focus has become, what resources do I have? What can I protect? Who do I love? Can I live with dying? She says. And if anybody else on Zoom would like to share, you're more than welcome to, and I'll read it out and light a candle for you. So I'm going to light one for Nicole.
Hi, I'm Phil Davis. Hi, I'm Phil Davis. I spent the last 6 months working for Democrats and totally disappointed, but unfortunately not surprised. When I talked with Republicans or exchanged text messages with them, it's clear to me that they are in a information bubble totally devoid from reality and just repeat back what they've heard. So I was also super impressed by the volunteers with the San Fernando Valley Indivisible group I worked with and the dedication of all the other volunteers that I heard about. And on the news tonight, I heard there were 90,000 volunteers for her campaign. That is unprecedented in any election. So even though we didn't win, we have the organizational strength to move forward. And I'm optimistic that we will survive and things will get better in the future. Unfortunately, in the near term, I think there will be a lot of chaos and pain and suffering for some people. And that'll be terrible for those people, but I don't think Trump's doing it to spare the people who voted for him. So that will get to those people, I hope, when they see that he is a con man. And I'm just still processing it and how we can be part of the opposition. I heard, instead of resistance, think of us as being the loyal opposition of trying to move forward to change the country, to expand our freedoms. Thank you.
These candles that we've lit tonight, and these roses, this is beautiful. The thing that's beautiful about roses is they hold both beauty and pain, right? These candles serve as stark symbols of our lamentation and pain. The candles stand in sand, representing our struggle with shifting ground of uncertainty. The wooden vessel we have here, holds our strong feelings, which we have named. We have taken the first steps towards healing by speaking the truth about the sources of our pain. And so we're going to sing together tonight a little bit. Our first thing that we're going to sing is There Is More Love Somewhere.
Thanks for being here.
Yes, thank you, Kevin, for playing for us.
There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere. There is more hope somewhere. There is more hope somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. there is more hope somewhere. There is more peace somewhere. There is more peace somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more peace somewhere. There is more joy somewhere. There is more joy somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more joy somewhere.
During this election season, our country has been torn apart by hate, division, and fear. Many of us have experienced hurt from damaged relationships with loved ones, friends, and coworkers. And we are living in a time of great uncertainty. We fear for ourselves and for the well-being of historically oppressed groups and people living on the margins of society. We are fearful for our children's future. And at the same time, let us not lose sight of what we can remain grateful for all that remains good and true and beautiful. And these are the words of my colleague, the Reverend Molly Hirsch Gordon. She actually gave the sermon at General Assembly this year. Humans in Western cultures often need to feel like there's an upward arc to history and some promised arrival in order for there to be meaning in our lives. But the place we are going is just around the sun, on a miracle of a planet. And I want to tell you that we are still alive in a world that is so beautiful and so brutal all at once, and always has been. It is all drenched in meaning no matter where it is headed, and it matters that we love each other well, and that we drink up the beauty and resist the brutality. In that spirit, similar to our candle lighting ritual earlier, in a few moments, we will pause again and have a minute or two of silence to follow. And I invite you to consider if there is a word or phrase that speaks to how you feel led to move forward in the coming days. After the silence, you'll be invited to come forward as you feel led to do so. Say your name, briefly share your word or phrase, and a short explanation of its meaning to you. And then you may light our other candles here. We have some votives to symbolize your sacred intention in the days to come. So we'll take another moment of silence, a couple moments of silence, and then we'll light a candle for our sacred intention in the days to come. So you're invited to share a word or phrase that symbolizes your intention in the days and weeks to come. And you're welcome to come up and speak it into the mic and then light a candle.
I forgot to say my name before. I'm Susan Siskin. I'm not there yet, but my 2 words are courage and joy. And I think I came to those because I was really inspired by Kamala, and I'm going to hope that I can find that in the coming days.
I'm Ellen, and the word that comes to mind is forgiveness, because there's still so much tension and anger over why did this happen the way it did. And so moving forward with forgiveness is my phrase. Thank you.
Ramon again. My phrase is laughing in the darkness, because as Martin Luther King Jr. said, you cannot fight darkness with darkness. You can only fight darkness with light. So I'm just going to keep laughing until the darkness goes away.
Charlene Brown, she shares that her words are courage and joy. I too was super inspired by Kamala, trying to be strong, knowing now that she is not going to be our president.
My word is serenity. It's really important for me to get back to that place, and I can use deep breathing and meditation and other ways of banishing the anxiety so that I can move forward. So serenity is my word. I'm Leslie.
I think I have 2 words tonight. One that keeps coming to mind is compassion, and I think it has something to do with that serenity. Embracing that Buddhist principle, I think. And then the other one is joyful resistance. So how can we make our resistance joyful? Any last sharings? Anyone?
I'll say the word idealism, which oddly came to mind because I was thinking about my father, who was an idealistic man, although he was very right-wing. But he was a kind-hearted man and an idealistic man. And so even people we disagree with can be idealists.
I haven't figured out how I'm going to move forward, but for the near term, I'm just going to take care of myself, catch up on things I haven't done for the last 3 months, and be grateful for everything I have, and to be grateful to just be alive, and for all the people who worked on the campaign, who have this dream for what can be. And we will figure out, I'm optimistic, we'll figure out how to fulfill the dream that Kamala expressed for our nation. Almost half of Americans want to have that dream fulfilled. And it's just a matter of time in my mind before it does get fulfilled.
We lift up these words, which are made sacred by our intentions. May they guide our hearts and actions as we seek to live together into the days to come. I want to share 2 quotes from the journalist Sarah Kenzor. She writes, "I don't believe in hope. I don't believe in hopelessness. I believe in compassion and pragmatism, in doing what is right for its own sake." So I invite you to hear that one more time. I don't believe in hope. I don't believe in hopelessness. I believe in compassion and pragmatism, in doing what is right for its own sake. That remains a touchstone for the days ahead. And the second quote is from what she wrote in the aftermath of Trump's first election in 2016. Write down what you value, what standards you hold for yourself and for others. Write about your dreams for the future, your hopes for your children. You still have your freedom, so use it. Do not accept brutality and cruelty as normal, even if it is sanctioned. Protect the vulnerable and encourage the afraid. If you are brave, stand up for one another. If you cannot be brave, and it is often hard to be brave, be kind. But most of all, never lose sight of who you are and what you value. Please be gentle with yourself in the days ahead as you're able. I promise you that we will be part of the resistance, and also give yourself permission to grieve. Get out into nature, get out of your head and into your body. Don't do this alone. We are in this together. We are stronger together. And so we're going to sing one of our favorite UU hymns, Spirit of Life.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
We have kindled this hour. I invite you to hear these words by Amaha Casa, founder of the African Communities Together. I'm exhausted, sad, and scared. Life just got worse for a lot of people like me, the people I love, and the immigrant communities, the immigrant members of my organization. But if millions of enslaved Africans who lived as human property, and tens of millions of my people in Ethiopia who live under totalitarianism, and hundreds of millions of undocumented and displaced and colonized people who live without any country to call their own, can survive and take risks and fight back and win, then we, with all the legal protections and institutions and wealth and technology we have at our collective disposal, we can do no less. We can do no less than fight back and win. Our last hymn tonight is We Shall Overcome.
We shall overcome, we shall overcome, we shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday. We shall walk hand in hand, we'll walk hand in hand, we'll walk hand in hand someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we walk hand in hand someday. We shall all be free, we shall all be free, we shall all be free someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall all be free someday. We shall live in peace, we shall live in peace, we shall live in peace someday. Oh, deep in my heart, live in peace someday.
Because both Kevin and Conrad came in to help. So you can see Conrad up there kind of. You can see the top of his head. Oh. We have an announcement of a lost and found water bottle?
Water bottle Tuesday night.
From Tuesday night.
And it says integrative therapeutics on it.
Integrative therapeutics is what it says on it. So if you lost this, we can put it up at the pulpit. That's where I collect lost water bottles.
Lost water bottle. It's lost because I walked home with it Tuesday night. So
It looks exactly like yours.
Acknowledge that happened. So here it is. It belongs to you. Thank you.
And as we prepare to go from this place, continue your journey in love, care for one another, care for this earth, do justice, and make peace. And as you go, whatever taste or touch you've had in this place or time of hope, love, peace, or joy that goes with you into the world, we are different from having spent this time together. So live boldly and with thanksgiving. And I'm going to invite you all, if you want, we have some, I was going to have us take actual candles outside, but it is not a good day to do that. But we have some little electric votives, so if anybody wants to join me in the parking lot, we can maybe sing Spirit of Life again together. We can feel like we're taking the light out into the world. It's a little bit of a Christmas Eve way of doing this. And if you're at home, you're welcome to take whatever light you have at home and maybe go outside for a moment and enjoy the cool air and sort of feel connected with the earth again, and also maybe feel connected with the wider world. And we could always do the cell phone thing too, but I have little electric votives and they're really cute. So we can maybe pass those out and sing a little bit outside for a second before we go. And speaking of gratitude, these are from Nicole. And then we're going to go outside and sing. Does that sound good? We can blow out our candles and not tempt fire at all, I think.
My brother's house burned down from a candle. So. Did you get those? Maybe two.